And welcome back to the Guys Gamers. Really excited about what's down the pipe when it comes to character customization, especially in regards to our faces. How customizable are they going to be? This is hot off the presses, just came out. 10 for the Chairman special edition with Josh Herman, who has been introduced before. He's the character director over at SIG, and they do a hell of a job really making these faces as detailed as possible. The facial features were ridiculous. When I saw this initially in an Around the Verse episode, I was actually blown away by it, which is why I'm doing this video. I don't normally do update videos. I generally talk about things not talked about in the game, and I think the reason I'm doing this video is because it kind of speaks to the heart. Like, a lot of people that play games really like to connect with their character. I mean, the personal connection between you and your character is kind of paramount to any game, so that you actually feel like you're within the game, and to make your character as customizable as possible so that you develop this connection is extremely important. Now, how in depth are they going to get? And that's why we're making this video. I've got some information here. 18 faces currently. 9 male and 9 female are planned in to be released. Not too sure. It sounds to me as if they're either going to release this in the 3.0 or they're going to wait until Squadron 42 is out to actually release it in the PU. I think it would be smart to release it as soon as possible. I'm hoping that they do. What are you going to be able to change on your character's face? Now, these are the attributes. You're going to be able to change the hair color, the eye color, facial features, which is interesting. You know, different types of looks, I would imagine. You know, like, your character generally look grumpy? Does he look tough as shit? Is he kind of like always like surprised? Is he kind of wimpy looking? I'm imagining these facial features will really give us that kind of customized look that we're wanting. And skin color, and also a wrinkle map for aging. Now, a really good question that was brought up in this 10 for the Chairman was, are there going to be any aging animations? And Chris really was taken aback by it, because it sounded as if he really never thought of that. He did say it was a great idea, but it is not planned in the game. Now, however, something like this and the feedback from the community with these questions is really important, because it makes Chris think about these things, and perhaps we will have this content at a later date. I'm hoping so. A really good angle here from a citizen, and a great question. I think that it's relevant that characters should be able to age within the game. How you would do that, I'm sure that the resources needed for that might not even be a technology available. And tell me what you guys think down in the comments below about that. But another interesting feature in regards to kind of character animation was injuries. If you sustain injuries within the game, whether you're in your Star Marine or you're in the PU and you're fighting, there's going to be injury animations, which I thought was really cool. You see here a character actually limping after getting hurt, which will also affect gameplay. And what a really cool feature. Like, if you get wounded, now you're all of a sudden limping around, you're not as fast, you're not as agile, you're an easier target, making FPS really astronomical, like a different kind of environment. Like, imagine you get hurt and now all of a sudden you're kind of limping around, you're not as effective as you were before. Really going to change gameplay in a way that no other game has done. So kudos to SIG for putting that in the game. I think that's going to be great. Again, we're not too sure about the release date, but as I had stated, I think it's smartest to put this in as soon as possible to give us that immersive quality, especially female characters, because all of us have been dying for female characters to be in the game to give us something different. Another angle that I thought was interesting was by one of our own gamers here on the channel that had mentioned something in a prior video to the effect of, you know, I hope that we're just not dealing with like adult females and adult males, that they also have the ability to be children. I don't think that's actually in the game. I think that also would make it very immersive, and hoping down the road that maybe they implement something like that. Now, Chris had mentioned that there are nearly 150 actors that were scanned for Squadron 42, and each of them did 78 facial features in a very intricately 360-degree kind of panoramic camera zone where they viewed the actor's head. So they had like a 360-degree rotational aspect to the actors in this zone, and made them do 78 facial features, which, wow, that's amazing. And I thought to myself, is that for like every single character that we create? And I don't believe so, as they had basically said that the faces are split up in 4 tiers. 0 tier being the best and reserved for actors in Squadron 42, like Gary Oldman and Mark Hamill. Makes sense. The 0 tier faces having 40,000 polygons. You heard me correctly. Industry standards for excellence for the most detailed facial faces out there in games, graphically speaking, is 10,000 polygons. And he has blown that away with 40,000 polygons. 1 through 3 tiers basically being reserved for like supporting actors, and then our own characters will be, I believe, 1 through 3 tiers having 10,000 polygons, and each tier going down the scale will have less and less and less facial features. Like he had mentioned, I believe tier 2 and tier 3 having like 16 facial features, which is still a hell of a lot. So I believe that you will be able to have like a customizable experience. Well, I think that you can create like a doppelganger at this point. No. Is it planned in the future? I believe so. They didn't mention anything like that, but if they were able to scan 150 actors for Squadron 42, each of those 150 doing, around 78 facial features, or even at the least 16 facial features, it would make sense that they would be able to take that same kind of process and then apply it to character customization, giving us like a plethora. Yes, I said it. A plethora of faces to choose from. Now, will you be able to customize each character's face to the point of making it look like yourself? I'm not quite sure, but Chris did mention that you can take 2 different faces and then blend them together to make a new face. So that would give us more options than just 18 faces. That would actually increase quite substantially if you thought about it in that respect. And also Josh had mentioned that you could play with the cheekbone areas. In some games, you're able to play with the vertices of the eye positioning and the nose poking out and jutting out, or the cheekbones being played with. Now, Josh did mention the cheekbones, but no other areas, so I'm sure at this point that's all they have. But even at that, in that respect, I think that you will be very happy with the overall character customization that is in the works here. I would just reiterate that I think it's very important that they put this in as soon as possible so that we have a more immersive experience. And overall, this game is really coming together every day, becoming more and more of a reality. I am very grateful for the very transparent nature in which SIG produces their content for everybody to see. And I'm very also grateful for everybody who is watching these videos, getting their information. Thank you for joining us here on To Games. Please think about being a patron and supporting our channel. It would help out greatly, and I look forward to making the next Star Citizen video. Also stay tuned, as we have an amazing giveaway coming up that I will be posting on Saturday. This giveaway is going to blow your minds, gamers, and thank you. I'll see you on the next vid.